Hello, I'm joined today by my guest, Jamie Arthur from Property Webmasters. Jamie, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm very well. Thanks for having me back on the podcast with Kerfuffle.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. We're talking now at a very sort of different time. We're right at the beginning of November. We're going to date this recording well and truly now, when people are watching it at the height of a property boom in 6 months' time. But yeah. I think it's probably fair to say that the outlook is less than positive in that way, and there are more challenges out there facing agents, particularly a little bit of uncertainty, both within the marketplace, within those agents and their clients. But now is not the time for agents to hide. Now is the time that they've got to stay visible and take advantage of every opportunity that they can to engage with that audience of clients that they've got and create business opportunities. So I guess, where do you guys come into that?
Well, yeah, I mean, just to touch on what you've been saying there, I think obviously estate agents have had a great time over the last 12 months and perhaps up to 18 months, but I think those times are going to change quite rapidly. I think we're already seeing trends now where obviously property prices are coming down, you've got mortgage rates going up and things like that. So that is going to have an impact. Look, there's still going to be people wanting to move house. They're just maybe harder to find. So this is when you've got to be sort of shouting about your business. And I know on the last Supplier Spotlight we had with Kerfuffle, we were talking about sort of personal brand and building out your own brand. So I think this really could be a sort of game changer really for the independents moving forward, because they could be more flexible with what they're looking to do. They don't have to sort of jump through so many hoops and get sign off and things. So independents really can flourish throughout this period, I think.
And when it comes to digital marketing for estate agents, I mean, it's often a term that is bandied around. Now, within the prop tech sphere, you'd be amazed at how many people claim to do digital marketing or to add to an agent's digital marketing. It all tends to start with that customer experience on a website very often. But we've come a long way in terms of digital marketing being able to generate leads. Can you touch on the sort of different things that agents might be missing out on and what they should be doing?
Well, yeah, I don't want to go too deep into the personal brand side of things, but that's probably the cheapest and easiest way of doing these things. Just being out there, producing a lot of content, whether that's videos, jumping on podcasts like this, getting involved in your local community and things like that. So there's a lot of things that agents can be doing to build their personal brand. The things that we have a marketing strategy in place that encompasses various channels. So you've got your social media, your paid advertising, and that's all sort of encompassing around the website itself. What we find is a lot of agents spend a lot of money on the marketing side of things and the paid side of things, and they don't spend too much time actually optimizing their website. So they drive a lot of traffic to the websites, but there's nothing actually on the website that would encourage anybody to engage with the website. It might be a completely bad experience. It might be that the website loads slowly. It might be that there's no calls to action on there. So there are a lot of things to consider. And that's something that we refer to in the industry as the CRO, which is conversion rate optimization. So understanding what your customers are going to be doing when they do land on your website. And something you've got to consider as well with regards to websites is that every one of your clients will have some interaction with your website. So even if they're just coming on the website to find your phone number, there will be something along the customer journey that makes them engage with the website. So it's got to be professional. It's got to be fit for purpose, and that's the only way you're going to attract more clients.
I'm a strong believer in that, sort of getting your face out there and constantly making a noise and constantly being seen. And I think it's maybe one of the main lessons that we learned from that pandemic period was that there will come times where you cannot engage your audience in the normal way that you do, but you need that visibility, because that's all that lingers in their head. And if I walk past somebody in a supermarket and they go, you're the guy from the property video stuff and the community stuff, and that really is the key to it. People do remember that, and you stay memorable. some agents are a little bit camera shy.
Yeah.
Even though we all tend to be sort of personalities that are used to selling, you'd be amazed at how many people want to step up to it. What would you recommend that they do in terms of getting used to that?
Well, you've got to just try it. Do you know what I mean? I think we touched on this slightly last time we had the conversation. So it's just trying it, getting used to it, building confidence, and the more you do these things, the better you become at them. I mean, I myself, I haven't done too many podcasts. It's something that we're going to be doing quite a lot of here at Property Webmasters, and getting our partners and clients around the world to engage with us and have open discussions around things. So, okay, I'm new to the game as well. So yeah, I think I've got a lot of improvement to do over the coming years as well.
I think you need to get over that fear of sometimes people don't like the way that they sound on, you know, when they hear it or watch it back. But once you get over that, I think it really sort of does work. And we're all about building trust, aren't we, with our clients? And I think seeing a face and getting to know a little bit of a personality, if you can squeeze that out as well, would be awesome. Estate agents are sat on vast amounts of information very often, existing databases. How do they sort of use that to sort of capitalize on that in this climate now?
Well, I think it's going to be a massive opportunity for all estate agents, but what we need to do is change the mindset of estate agents, where it always seems to be, who's the next client, who's the next client, who's the next client, while you're almost turning your back on what you might already have in the bank with regards to your subscriber database. So there are lots of opportunities to explore that, and I mean, the best way and the best, obviously, the highest return on investment that you get is through email marketing. There's no other way about it. Obviously, you can spend a lot of money through PPC, spend a lot of money through social paid, spend a lot of time through organic social. But just you could send an email out to all of your database. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you can send an email out to all of your database, and it might take you an hour. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very low cost, and the return on investment can be 4,000% plus. It's just a bit of time and maybe 30 quid a month to MailChimp or whoever you're using for your email marketing.
It's all part of that sort of customer nurturing as well, and sort of keeping them on board. And I'm taking it that CRM that is sat at the heart of all those databases is sort of key to that. And so how does the website sort of help with that? Where is the marriage then between sort of CRM, marketing campaigns, and website?
Well, they all need to communicate, basically. So the marriage is quite often not there at all. It's very much a fragmented operation for a lot of estate agents. So they all need to communicate. So your marketing channels, so your Google, Facebook, they all need to communicate with your CRM. Do that through webhooks or whatever, by whatever means that you wish. That again needs to engage with your website. So an example might be that you might run a PPC campaign looking to attract sellers in, I don't know, Oxford, for instance. You drive a lot of traffic to the website. That traffic then engages with the website. So they might create a members account. They might submit an inquiry on the website. But that data, if they do create a members account and they do shortlist a property, or they do view a lot of properties or share listings, share searches, all of these features that you can get on websites these days, all of that data really should be, and your CRM may not be equipped to do this, but all of that data should be going back into the CRM, which then empowers your sales teams to deal with the most active clients and to respond in the quickest possible time. And on top of that, there are automation like SMS, WhatsApp, whatever it might be. But I think there's becoming too much of an over-reliance on that kind of thing. People sometimes want to just speak to somebody, and if you get a text message, then the chances are that your competitor down the road is going to get a better response.
So given that there is often that sort of, I think you use the word fragmented. It's a fragment. Sometimes our marketing flows are fragmented. So we've got something that's generating interest either on social media, or we're trying to drive traffic desperately back to our websites, and then we're always told we need to capture data wherever we can. Some of us have got downloads we offer out, and we get people's data. Does that go into a CRM? Do we know who they are? Do we know that we need to put them into some sort of a nurture journey? So many of us don't actually know where we're up to with it. All we know is that it needs attention, that something's broken. And I'm going to turn up at your door and I'm going to say, Jamie, here's my website. This is what we're currently spending here. This is what we're currently doing there. How does it join together? So what's your process in terms of getting to know me as a customer, working out what it is that I do need?
Well, yeah, it's an age rule in sales, really. You've got to take a consultative approach. Obviously, we would have that conversation with you initially, and quite often, because we work on an international scale, we have clients around the world who are primarily looking to attract buyers, whereas in the UK, of late, it's been estate agents trying to attract sellers. So no estate agency really is the same given their location and country specific objectives. So it'd be a case of having an open conversation, whether that would be face to face or through a video call, something like this. We'd then put together a client profile, and then we'd send that back out to the client based on our findings from the conversation that we'd had. And we'd also submit that with some recommendations of what you could be doing. Quite often you've got estate agents that have got 5,000 followers on Facebook and they don't even realize that they've got them. So it's about exploring the low-hanging fruit, the opportunities that you've got within your reach. And that's something that we would approach with the client.
Well, I highly recommend any agents watching this to get on that and to try and sort of reap the benefits of picking that low-hanging fruit, because in this market that we're going into, you're going to need to start there and almost work upwards. And working with Jamie and his team, I think you'd get on top of that pretty quickly. Obviously, all of Jamie's details for Property Webmasters are on kerfuffle.com. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you, Jamie. It's lovely also to hear that you, at the beginning of this call, before we started recording, you told me about how busy you guys are at the moment. So don't just take my word for it. A lot of agents are using these guys to try and make a step forward. So it's always good to hear.
No, I appreciate that. And again, thanks for having me on the conversation. I must sort of bring attention to the mustache that I'm sporting.
Oh, do you have a link to your Movember page then?
I haven't actually set one up yet because I only decided to do it this morning. But yeah, that's the reason I've got this. It's very weak at the moment. So
get on it. We're going to check in with you by the end of the month. I want to see what kind of a growth you've got there. But if you do get a link to your Movember page, pop it over. We'll add it onto this recording, and we can encourage people to give money towards a really good cause. So thanks for doing that, Jamie, and I'll speak to you again.
Yeah, thank you very much, David. It's been a pleasure. Speak to you.